Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the August 5th meeting of the Derry Conservation Commission. Getting a little bit of an echo feedback, so we're going to take a quick pause to check mics. Try that. Test, test. I think that took the echo down. Perfect. All right, we'll start by rising for the Pledge of Allegiance. Prior to standing, could the board and audience please silence all cell phones? Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. In case of emergency this evening, there is an exit up here to the front. Do not use the elevators. A member of the commission can help you down the stairs if needed. I would like to start with an introduction of commission members to my left this evening.
Eileen Chabot, good evening.
Bob Spurl.
Rick Bazanga.
Bob Boonstra.
Charlie Foote, Town Council Liaison.
Mr. Hayden, could you push the gray button underneath your microphone? Bring it up a little more. It's on the stem. Perfect. And could you please sit for Paul Dion tonight? Sure. For the record, he said sure. Correspondence has been light, but going into a couple of things, we have only one notice from DES for a reported alleged violation. Addresses 2 Lakeshore Avenue, Derry, New Hampshire, tax map 55, lot 28. Within 20 days of date, the landowner must respond to DES. I'll pass that for those to read. Again, it's an alleged violation at this point, and we can leave it at that. I did receive a couple of pieces of correspondence from Eileen. Thank you, Eileen, as always, for sending over a lot of great workshops. There is a workshop to be held August 23rd at 10 a.m., running till 4 p.m. at the Harris Center for Conservation Education. That's at 83 Kings Highway in Hancock, New Hampshire. It's an easement monitoring workshop for conservation commissioners, pardon me. It is a free workshop. There'll be some indoor classwork before heading out into the field. This is a digital sign-up link, and it is free, so I will send that while we sit here tonight after discussion and make sure if those are interested can certainly sign up and go. That is part of what we prior deemed free education for like land stewards to help fill out reporting, but this would be a requirement for that position moving forward for the additional position. Second learning opportunity that's available, and this I believe is available to all the public based on signing up online. This one is Wednesday, August 21st from 5:30 to 7 p.m. It's at the Pratt Family Community Room at the Matthew Center for People in Nature, 247 North River Road, Epping. And it is a pollinator power workshop led by Matt Tarr from the UNH Cooperative Extension, Evie Nathan and Margie Bean from Pollinator Pathways, learning about the importance of pollinator conservation. You can register in advance at SELT, SELT, nh.org/pollinators. Again, that should be open to the public from what I saw. Correct, Eileen?
Yep.
Perfect. Matt Tarr may be a name familiar to some. He's come and done some bird recording and video activity for us at Broadview. He's an excellent resource for us in terms of coming from UNH Cooperative. That is all we have for correspondence tonight. We have one large piece of business on the agenda, not really large, somewhat large, and then we will go into a non-public that was not on the agenda, and that will be the bulk of our business this evening. To set the table for our next conversation, it is regarding Fisher Cats.
Do you want to approve the minutes, Mr.
Oh,
Chair?
I'm sorry, my apologies. Before we go to the next thing of business, I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes from 7:15.
So moved.
Rick motions to approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Bob Boonstra seconds. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
Abstain.
Abstentions?
Yeah.
Okay, for the record, Bob Spurl abstains. Everybody else? James, did you vote? Yes. Okay, so one abstention. Motion will carry. Perfect. Thank you for reminding me about the minutes. Rick.
Sorry.
You're the best.
Mr. Chair, before you continue on this, on this reported alleged violation, I'm very familiar with this property. I'm in a butter. I know there's nothing going on here there's nothing going on here. So if you let me take this, I'll reach out to DES and be the boots on the ground for the commission.
Yep.
I'll ask for help if I need it.
Yep, sounds good. The person who received the letter does need to respond, though, so
Yeah, I'll
they
reach-
should do that accordingly.
Yeah, I'll reach out to them.
Just in case they're watching tonight and go, I'm good. You still have to respond
No,
to the
no, I'll reach out to
request for
them.
information.
And I might need your help on just to
Sure.
take a peek.
Correspondence, yep. All right, should be good. All right, next order of actual agendized business is regarding UNH and a request to study fisher cats in town. You may recall that in the past, we've partnered with the UNH Cooperative Extension to do a study on fur-bearing animals, monitoring pathways, travel, quantity, things like that. I did speak with Dr. Remington Mall via email correspondence regarding a second result from that study. We received a good quantity of pictures from the first time around. The trail cameras were granted another year to stay up, so we're waiting on some additional results from that. In the interim, excuse me, you can see on your screen if you're at home a picture of a fisher cat. It's actually quite a small animal for the most part if you haven't seen one. UNH has asked us potentially to do a trapping and tagging activity on a couple of parcels in Derry. Let me share with you what the request is for. The project would run from 2024 to 2027. It would entail capturing fisher cats and fitting them with GPS collars, releasing them back on site, monitoring their health and movements, and field work will be coordinated with landowners, i.e. the town of Derry, if we choose to grant them access to this. There's 3 objectives to the research. 1, to estimate the fisher survival across multiple regions of New Hampshire, to identify cause-specific mortality and factors impacting their health, to quantify the fisher space use, habitat associations, and dispersal, meaning once they're tagged, where they move around to, different parcels, etc. Field work will entail visiting the sites to determine appropriate trapping locations, and the trapping would occur in late summer, which we're coming up on now. We anticipate 2 to 3 weeks of trapping at a given location and request flexibility to adjust according to trap success rate, right? The picture that they shared of the proposed traps was too small to put on TV, but I want to give an idea to the public. They're traps called Have Heart. It's a large brand trap. They're a cage trap that's fitted with a foot trigger. They basically use a very similar trap to that, except it is covered in earth and debris to give it a little bit more of a disguise to the trap. Very likely not easily identifiable to the public. If we choose to partner with UNH Cooperative on this, a request would be that obviously these would be made far away from trail systems and other things that the public could access or potentially be impacting in terms of accessing these traps or finding a fisher within a trap, right? We'll have to work on where those locations are. Excuse me. The 3 properties that have been proposed, and they do have GPS locations similar to where they leveraged the camera locations for the project previously. I have those specific longitudes and latitudes that we can share out from the paperwork UNH Cooperative submitted. But the properties they are targeting for this study would be Broadview Farm, Weber Memorial Forest, and the Line Storm Trail off of Gulf Road. I will open up the floor to discussions, but would provide a little bit of context first before we get there. 1, we've had sightings of all different animals at these properties already, including coyotes at Broadview. So I would assume that the fishers would also likely be in the area. Although Broadview is our most heavily traveled area, so I want to keep that in mind. There is a good woodlot beyond the farm fields, but want to bring that up for discussion. Weber as well is heavily traveled by foot. A lot of passive recreation, horse traffic, bikes on that property as well. There is a ill-used loop that goes around the left-hand side if you're coming in, but there is plenty of places out there. And Gulf Road, it's got a couple different winding systems back there, but I would say probably of the three, the lesser traveled of the properties. They are looking to trap on all three, and if we choose to partner with them tonight, they did share a trapping permit that would be required for this. So any motion to entertain this would also have to include the chair to sign and approve the trapping permit on the property post-discussion. Questions? Commentary?
Did they give you any indication of how many traps they plan to put in place?
I believe it's one trap per property, but I will 100% double check that.
So that's 3 traps, okay.
Yes, and they said the ability to adjust based on success rate. So if they find that they've placed a trap that does not catch, they may choose to move that trap into a different location or perhaps add a trap. But as of right now, I believe it is one trap per property.
Well, there's not going to be scores of them, so.
No, they've only identified one longitude and latitude point per property. So my assumption would be is they want to track it specifically to get in and out of, checking the traps for fisher cats as this develops.
How many would they trap approximately? Do they know what their goal is?
The traps will run for a certain period of time baited. I'm assuming if it's catch and release and rebait, let me see if they put that in there. Across all of the towns that they're trying to target, they would like to access 100 individual fishers, the GPS.
Wow.
Again, the traps are only going to be set late summer and then removed. So it'd be a short period for them to trap.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I'm completely for partnering with them, authorizing the chair to sign the plan. The only caveat I have is that we have a representative from the group just report out to the commission of their findings, what they encountered on the properties. I think it'd be a good learning experience for both the commission and the public.
One other point that I just want to point out, that traps will be set, each evening and checked in the morning. So the goal is to quickly determine if one was caught, not leave one caught in a trap in case somebody asks, hey, how long will it take them to come back? It's a daily activity for them to ensure that the animal is GPSed and released. Do we have any cause or concern for any of the properties listed in terms of trapping?
I guess I have another question too. I know what have-a-heart traps are like. I have some familiarity with them. But how do we know that this, have-a-heart traps can catch a variety of animals, not just fisher cats?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do we know that some other animal might not get trapped in that trap? How can we guarantee that something else might not get trapped?
I don't think they can speak to that either, which is why they have to check it daily in case another animal gets into the trap.
Yeah,
They would
I think it's
release it accordingly, not
pretty
GPS
likely.
track it.
Okay. all
Probably
right.
pretty likely that it's going to catch more than just fisher cats. And that's kind of,
It's a very general trap, and it
Yeah.
can catch a variety of animals.
and that kind of goes back to my previous comment that I'd like to hear from them, because they're going to have to document all of their trappings, all of their releases, all that stuff. So I'd like to hear from them after they're done.
Yeah.
They can explain to us what they did catch and didn't catch and release. I think it'd be informative for us to see what kind of.
I'll pass this down for those to see the image. It's not big enough to put on TV, but it's large enough that a fisher can get in and get out. The already established camera locations that they were documenting the images from during the fur-bearing study probably gave them a better idea where fishers went through, so it'll give them a better chance to possibly trap them that way. That's why it's ISO'd to 3 cameras. But I agree, we can make a motion that, we'd like a report out during the trapping period of each and every daily log per trap. If that makes the commission more comfortable, we can get that information for sure.
So I'll make the motion when you want me to, but I'm thinking more at the end of when they're done. They're
Sure.
gonna establish. I'm sure this is probably gonna be. There's gonna be a thesis surrounding this whole project. So they can report out on that thesis when when it's over with.
Sounds good?
Just check.
If everyone's good, I can, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, quick question. So is this an independent study, or is it in conjunction with state?
This one, I believe, is UNH cooperative. I don't believe on this document they list fish and game specifically on there. Can check again.
They have a point of contact, a wildlife biologist, Patrick Tate, from the New Hampshire Fish and Game Department.
So it is in conjunction with fish and game then.
Yeah, and they have University of New Hampshire research scientists involved in this.
Yeah.
Letters from UNH
Several. Several research scientists from UNH, so, yeah.
So the only qualms I have is being close to trail proximity in the public. I believe that we can confirm these locations are probably the safest away from the trail, which is where they placed the cameras at the beginning of our process a couple years ago. That was our request. I have no additional qualms. Any other questions or commentary from the board? With that, Rick, I'll entertain a motion to sign the permit.
So I'll make a motion that the chair sign the authorization to trap on the properties described in the request with the stipulation that we have a report, an in-person report from one of the folks that are involved in the process to the commission post-project.
Rick motions, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Bob Sproul seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries, none heard. Rick, I'll include you on my response back to Remington Mall so that we can have another sightline to communicate with as we move forward. In terms of other business this evening, we received 2 additional drafts of conservation-related positions. Thank you, Eileen. We're going to disperse those out to the group. These are quite more robust than the draft that we had originally held for volunteers. So we're going to take some of the best and get this structured as quickly as possible, Charlie, so we can get this back to the commission, back to Dave Karen, and move forward. It's not an official agenda item tonight, but I do want to let everybody know we received 2 of those. The only other piece of business that I had top of mind this evening, and now, of course, it's not top of mind because that just distracted me. Oh, it was asked before. Charlie, do you know if the public is doing a Dairy Fest again this year? Is it on the docket? Is anybody,
Dairy Fest, yes.
do we know when that's going to be?
Third Saturday in September, yeah.
Third Saturday in September. We have not received a request to book a booth yet. I guess we will check in on that. Normally, we get a request, and then also the Energy Advisory Committee also gets a request. We split one year. Last year we didn't, it obviously got canceled, so.
Correct. We can look into that.
We'll
I
have to
believe it's
dig
the
in- we'll have
21st,
to dig into
right?
it.
Sounds about right, the 21st? September 21st on rate?
21st. All right, well, public, it is coming, so we will be there with maps, and if that's what the commission's wish is, we'll secure a spot at that event as well. Any other topics for the group this evening?
Oh, I just wanted to mention something. The public can go on the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commission's website for the details, but there's a photography contest that's on right now. You can win a prize of $250 for the first prize. The details are on their website, and the photographs that you would take have to be taken in here in the state of New Hampshire and be in line with the theme that they've chosen for the contest. But you can find all the details on the nhacc.org website.
All right. With that, any other comments from Councilor Foote?
No.
Okay. We do have a small note on the bottom of all our agendas in case something comes up pertinent to potential acquisitions of properties. We had a call come in today that I would like to bring to the commission this evening, so I have asked Rick for a motion, please.
Make a motion to move into non-public per section 91-A:3, section 2D, consideration of the acquisition, sale, or lease of real or personal property, which is, if discussed in public, would likely benefit a party or parties whose interests are adverse to those of the general community.
With that, I'll entertain a roll call vote this evening for that. Oh, do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have a second from Eileen? I'd like to do a roll call vote. Eileen?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. James?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
And I entertain a motion, invite Counselor Foot.
So moved.
Second.
Bob?
Yeah.
Boonstra seconds. Roll call vote. Eileen?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. James?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.
With that, we'll end the meeting, and the official time is 7:19.